brain injury is like the color blue. Maybe I'm special. Not many people can stay in. I stay say what I else can my life in spiritually into the expressions of personality. I was one person up to the age of 25 when a different person took over a inhabit my consciousness, or that we refer to as self. Let me explain. Blue has also been my favorite color. Everybody knows the color blue, right? Maybe not. If some were visually impaired to blind since birth, they may have no clue that what color is at all. Never mind the actual color of blue, and for we know what one person sees as blue could be another person's red. When we learned our colors from our patient and teachers, they pointed to a color and said, "This is blue." Whatever color you saw at the area they pointed to is no unknown to you as blue. Maybe what I see as red you call blue. Therapies our brains don't interpret this color impulses the sum, and you have a totally different color space than I do with color I could not even begin to recognize. What if we just try to describe it? The color blue. To describe a color without using color as a point of reference is impossible. It's blue like the sky. Well, if you can see the sky, and descriptions would not be at all helpful. Trying to explain something requires a common point of reference to base your expressions on. Without that, we cannot communicate a thought, idea, or solution. Can a color be described to someone who cannot see? An aroma to someone who cannot smell? Or a sound to someone who cannot hear? Which bring me to my points. Science diagnosis with a brain tumor in 1999. I have found there is no way to explain the difficulties or the effect to the change in my consciousness to someone who was not expected change in their brain. Having new brain is far from anything most people experience. The only people who truly understand are the ones who live with it themselves, the insiders, and even for us, the experienced are commonly equipment due to the complexity of the brain itself. As hard as your friends, family, and significant cannot other try, they will never truly be able to understand. To them, it is something or happens or certain event or place or will trying to do common thing, and something is virtuality to us. It never goes away. We take it with as ever we go. We cannot forget it because it is part of us. It is who we know are. It is a reality that we became acclimated to or learn to accept. This is not a pretty party. In fact, I have learned many positive lessons from this experience. For my For me, it is a brain injury or someone else. It is brain in imported someone else losing a child. Everyone was, as they say, a roach to bear. As as much as we want to empathic and understand what other and going through, we have to accept the humiliation to your abilities to do so. I believe accepting the fact that people cannot completely understand this article, but through accepting of your solutions, stop to explain. Time to let go of functions that arises by the repeated unsuccessfully attempts to explain why I have the way I do, why I need curtained modifications to environment, and why I react the way I do. The realization is very new to me. I am sharing it your other in the some or smaller situations because I truly believe this is a key element to full healing, not worrying too much about other understanding. Somehow this realizations is quite liberations for me. This realization is very new to me. I am sharing it your other in the some to similar situations because I truly believe his is a key element to full healing. Not worrying too much about other understanding. Somehow this realization is quite liberations for me. I write this because I know I am not alone. After 19 years to this feeling my reality, and after 19 years to trying to get those around me to understand, I am stopping. How I can explain some to truly understand without any point of personal reference to base their understanding one. It is likely trying to describe the color blue to someone. It just cannot be done. I have I have liberated myself. I hope I have helped to liberate at last one other in the process. Patricia Rose, RN, is a retired nurse, epidemiologist who specialized in pediatric AIDS research. She is a breast cancer and brain tumor survivor. After truly realizations her own mortality, she has learned such about herself, others, the mercies of life itself, and importance of sharing each moment. Each Buddhist and is an avid mindful pro paint. She has spoken as an inspirational speaker at brain tumor conference and at Hartwell Medical School. To view more to the right, visit her blog. Thank you so much for this watching video. Process to losing indications has been linked to brain cancer, especially in children. Exposure to vanilla childhood in industrial chemical used of manufacture PVC has also been linked to brain cancer. Other risk factors to brain cancer are age risks, congruous with age, except for some forms of brain cancer that are more common in children. Previous cancer diagnosis: a person who has had cancer is here in the body in more at risk of developing brain cancer, especially childhood cancer and blood cancer such as leukemia and Hodgkin's lymphoma. HIV/AIDS: people with HIV/AIDS are twice as likely to develop brain cancer than the general populations. Treatment of brain tumors: the plain treatment of brain tumor cancer developments on the size, grade and locations of a femur was well as overall patient's health. Malignant brain tumors are as usual surgical remove. However, surgical removal of an entire tumor may not also be feasible due to locations or other factors like ease of access. ওদিকে যাও
কতটুকু হলো দেখি।
এখনো আমার কমপ্লিট হয়নি, কমপ্লিট করছি।
ক্যান্সেল আসলো কেন?
ওইখান থেকে শব্দ নিচ পর্যন্ত যাচ্ছে তার।
কে তোমাকে কি বললো যে তুমি শুনতে পারলা?
Radiation therapy is another treatment patients that is commonly used to treatment brain tumors. Radiation damage in the DNA of cancer cells and stops their division and growth. Radiation therapy is another treatment option that is commonly used to treatment brain tumors. Radiation damage the DNA of cancer cells and stops their division and growth. Chemotherapy or anti-cancer drugs are not always used since blood-brain barrier prevents the transport of many of these drugs into the brain from the bloodstream. A number of experimental therapies are also in development. Early treatment to tumor can prevent further complications. 50% of people with brain cancer will suffer for 5 years or more other diseases. Despite this, there is still hope. Progress depends on a lot of factors. Knowing our risks and following up suspicious systems can help in early diagnosis. Stay alert to stay healthy. Tumor types, symptoms and causes. Our brains are the seat of all. We are every thought and action we perform is an output of our brain. So, understandably, the thought of the affections striking the brain can be terrifying. Brain is a care but devastating form of cancer, accounting for 2% of all cancer causes worldwide. Brain cancer refers to the abnormal growth and division of cells within the brain. Brain tumors can be either begin of cancerous and cancerous brain tumors are further split into primary brain tumors are start in the brain and secondary tumors are that elsewhere in the body and spread to the brain. Whether benign or a malignant tumor can increase the volume of the brain, which creates pressure in the tight skull speech. The bony skull is extremely hard and rigid. Any encroachment in this tight space increases internal pressures which can lead to brain damage, coma and even death. Type of brain tumors. The first major confusions of type of the brain tumors is benign and malignant tumor. Benign brain tumors are the last aggravated and slowest growing tumors. They do not have cancerous cells and have a good progresses after treatment. Malignant or cancerous brain tumors are from brain cells, spuritive cells, and other tissues found in and around the brain. These are high grade tumors. Grading for tumors involves rating a grow in a cells of 1 to 4 with low grade scores begin 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are high grade. Begin tumors are low grade which is slow growing content, less likely to spread and unlikely to return after removal. On the other hand, malignant or cancerous tumors are high grade, which means their first growing spread to secreting tissues and are more likely to return after removal. Cancerous tumors are further divided into primary and secondary tumors. Primary cancerous tumors originated within the brain itself, while secondary tumors are a result of metastasis from tumor in the organ system, commonly from the primary tumors are rare and the most common type of primary brain tumors are gliomas and meningiomas. Gliomas affect the glial cells, which are supportive cells in the brain that provide nervous system and structure support to neurons. Gliomas accounting for 50% of all primary brain tumors. System of brain tumors. The brain is a large and complicated organ. Symptoms of brain tumors depend on the size, type and location of a tumor. Some common signs and symptoms are headache typically occurs in the morning and progressively worsens over time. Persistent nurses, persistent vomiting, dizziness, progressive body weakness, fatigue, unaccepted weight loss, behavior or mood change, vision problems, confusion and memory impairment. Specific symptoms depend on the size of a tumor and its locations. Based on these, some of the signs and symptoms that may be noticed are personality changes, less inhibition, poor judgment, etc. in frontal lobe tumors. Sensory disturbances, positives, muscles, weakness, etc. in parietal lobe tumors, visual disturbance or loss of vision in occipital lobe tumors, loss of balance and conditions or curable tumors, change in respirations, blood pressure and heartbeat in brain system tumors. This is a short summary of tumors in the major regions of the brain. As one goes more in depth, a variety of symptoms can be found ranging from loss of language, compressions of hallucinations, causes of brain tumors. The underlying causes of brain cancer is not well unknown. The two major factors implicated in the development of brain tumors is genetic and exposed to radiation. Gene mutations, success, deletions, and losses of tumor supposes genes are thought or to contribute to the causes of brain tumor. A family history of femorias also increases the risk of developing the conditions. Certain genetic disorders such as neurofibromatosis, TBS, Scarius and Turner syndrome and accorded with a higher risk of developing brain tumor. Exposure to insulin reducing has been linked to brain cancer, especially in children. Exposure is vanillin, childhood in industrial chemical used to manufacture PVC has also been linked to brain cancer. Other risk factors for brain cancer are age. Risk increases with age, except for some forms of brain cancer that are more common in children.